What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike. Today I'm going to try to get a little deeper into this ongoing story that you guys seem to have gotten hooked on, which is what it's like to face 12 years in jury trial. So far, we haven't gotten anywhere near the trial. So I'm going to take you through the next pieces, see how long this takes, of the experience in county and all of the things that led up to the eventual trial date, because there's actually quite a lot of legal parts to this. So when I last left you, I'd been in county for about 3 weeks, and as I said, I just lost my first cellie, and I was pretty depressed, but I was still feeling somewhat positive because my ex-wife, at the time, who had pressed these charges, or who had at least cooperated, who had called the police the night of the event, was supposedly moving back in with my dad in Dallas, Texas, with my then son, well, my son. So at this point of the game, I'm feeling like eventually all of this is going to be worked out, right? Like, why would you be living with my dad, you know, if you were planning on trying to send me to prison for the rest of my life? But like I said, because of the way she had come at me in the bail reduction hearing, I really was not trusting any of this data. So as my cellie left, and I get this new guy, gets moved into my cell, and every time you get a new cellmate, it's a high stress situation, because you never know what you're getting into. You know, this is a person that you're going to have to be spending a lot of time locked in a very small space with. You're going to be sleeping in the same space with this person, going to the bathroom in the same space with this person. And so your experience inside of any jail or prison system ultimately is made or it can be made or broken by how well you get along with the person that you're celled up with. And so I just had this really good experience with this guy. We got along great, had good mutual respect for one another. And the door opens and in comes this guy. I was like 27 at the time, I think. Yeah, I was 27 at the time. And in walks this guy who's, you know, I don't know, he's in his 50s probably. And he looks like shit, real skinny, clearly just got off the streets. And so we start, you know, kind of, getting to know one another. And I find out that he has just been transferred from the medical wing, that he's withdrawing off of opiates. The guy, I guess, got busted for heroin possession or something. And so they had him in the medical wing for some period of time. And then he got moved into my cell to serve out his sentence. And so, my God, man, everything seemed like okay in the very beginning. He's sleeping a lot, and then he started, the withdrawals were like getting worse, I guess. I don't know anything about opiate withdrawal. As I told you in part one of this, I unfortunately withdrew off of a milligram and a half of Xanax, or at least went through the early phases of it until I had a seizure. But I've never done opiates, really. Like, my entire experience with opiates extends to like a couple of prescriptions for hydrocodones back in the day when I had some tooth extractions, and I hate the way opiates feel. I think I have a paradoxical effect to opiates. Most people seem to love opiates. They get like real sloshed, and you know, they enjoy the painkiller aspect of them. Hydrocodone, for one, just makes me feel cracked out, like just like skitsy, and I can't sleep good on it. It makes me very nauseated. It's just all bad. I do not understand the appeal of opiates at all. Like, I've tried to abuse them. This guy had at one point the syrup, you know, the promethazine with codeine. And dude, I had a terrible experience with that. I couldn't sleep. I felt like wired, almost like you had too much caffeine, is kind of how I felt. So it's like, I feel like I had too much caffeine, and so I've got this agitated, wiry state, but the opiates are still numbing me to some degree, so I'm like partially sedated and partially wired up, if that makes any sense. It's a terrible, horrible feeling for me. So I never do them. Like I have zero interest in opiates at all. I've got a cousin who's massively addicted to them. Like we can't let her come in our house because we're afraid. Like we have a lot of like old prescription hydrocodones sitting around. Like the Tylenol 3s and the fucking all of them. I hate them. So I never touched them. When I had all of my teeth extracted, I had every tooth that was left in the top extracted and 2 on each side on the bottom. And then I had 4 implant rods drilled into my jaw and my prosthetic placed when I had my all-on-4 surgery. After that surgery, I did not take a single opiate. The strongest thing I took to deal with the pain from that surgery was ibuprofen 800. I will not fucking touch painkillers unless it is just absolutely a requirement. I would rather be in pain. So that all being said, I have no idea what this guy's going through. I was buying hot cocoa and Kool-Aid off the store because I don't like to drink coffee black, so I like to mix my coffee with hot chocolate. So I had hot chocolate to go with my coffee in the mornings, and then I would drink Kool-Aid all through the day so that I could get my sugar fix, like you guys know that I have. In fact, I didn't bring my Dr. Pepper in. I'm going to have to cut this short in a second because my blood sugar is going to crash on me. You know what? I'm going to do that right now, actually. Okay, I got my 2-liter bottle, and I'm back. So this guy starts basically asking me if he can have some of my hot chocolate because he says it's going to help him with his withdrawal. And, like, I feel for dude, you know what I mean? So, like, I gave him some. But it's a dicey thing when you're on the inside because you can't, there's all these, like, jailhouse, prison politics. And when people start trying to ask you for shit for free, if you give in to them, then you get into a situation where they just keep fucking asking for it. And then you have to eventually shut it down, and that's when, like, the vast majority of fights occur. And so you're not supposed to share commissary. It's just a rule that you're not allowed to do it. You can get in trouble if you're caught. But, you know, like, I'm not, like, you know, that big of a fucking tight ass. And so I hooked the dude up with a little bit of fucking hot chocolate. And then, like, I don't know if it was the next day or later on the day, he's trying to hit me up again. I gave him one more. I was like, dude, this is it. Like, I got enough fucking problems of my own. Like, I can't be fucking, you know, helping you kick your fucking addiction. And he tried to get a little fucking attitudinal with me. And I'm just like, sorry, bro. Like, it's not my fucking problem. And then it started getting even worse. And he started making these fucking weird-ass sounds. Like, these meditation sounds inside the fucking cell. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You know? And he would be like, like that, like real fucking loud. And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you doing? He's like, dude, he's trying to tell me that he heard somewhere that this sound that you can make somehow, like, makes the fucking withdrawal better. Like, it activates some neuronal pathway in the brain. Somebody in the comments, if you've ever withdrawn off opiates. Was this guy, is this true? What the fuck was this guy talking about? So anyway, as this shit progresses, he starts getting more and more agitated. And so he basically starts making, like, these wild threats. So, like, we're in the cell one day. This is, like, 2 days in. And to him being my cellie. And he says that he's going to try to escape. And you got to understand, we're, like, on the 7th floor of a jail that is a closed custody facility. Like there's like a tiny little window inside of your cell, your individual cell, but it's like frosted over, and there's 0% chance that any adult human being could fit out this window. And the rest is all cinder blocks, and there's a sally port, and you have to have badges, and it's a jail, okay? It's a very secure facility. Now, I understand that people get out of these facilities, but this guy's not one of these fucking people, okay? He's not getting out of this facility. And so he starts telling me that he's planning on escaping, and I'm kind of like, oh, really? Okay, well, how are you going to do that? And he says, I'm going to get you I want you to distract the guard so that I can come up from behind him, overpower him, and steal his badge. And I'm like, bro, you're actually fucking retarded. Like, there's no chance this is gonna work. This guy like literally just crawled off the streets. Okay, so he's easily in his 50s. He probably weighs $120, $130, soaking fucking wet. He couldn't kick his own ass, much less mine, and I wasn't a big guy at the time. And he damn sure wasn't overcoming the fucking the guard that was on our unit was in the Navy. He wasn't like a big guy, but he was a fit guy. Okay, like this junkie's not overpowering this fucking dude. Never minding the fact that even if you overpower the guard, now you've got his badge, he's gonna get on his radio. There's gonna be a SWAT team in there to beat your ass half to death inside of seconds. But in order to get out of the fucking unit, the cop has to go to a door with his key card and activate a panel that turns on a camera so somebody in a control unit can open the first door that goes into what's called a sally port, which is just like a little room with a door on either end. And so one door has to be completely securely closed before the other door can be open. And there's cameras inside of there to verify that the person who's going through the port is validated to go through the port. So, I mean, he's talking about taking the guy's uniform off of him so that he can try to escape. It's like total lunacy. And I hate this guy so bad that I'm like, yeah, like this is a good idea, bro. I think you should definitely do it. I was like, I'll definitely, go talk to the cop. And you can fucking overpower it. Because I just want to see him get fucked up. I just want this guy out of my fucking unit. I just want to see him get fucked up. And so they pop the doors for wreck. And I go out and I'm talking to the cop. Dude does nothing, of course. He was never going to do anything. And later on, we get back in the unit. And I guess I had kind of got an attitude about the shit, and I was kind of like punking him, and I was like, so bro, like, what happened with your fucking master escape plan? And he wasn't feeling it, dude. He was not feeling very good, and he said, he made some kind of threat at me. I don't remember what it was, and I basically told him, if you put your fucking hands on me, I'm gonna beat your ass to death. I'm not the fucking one. I didn't come in here to play games. Like, you're gonna stay the fuck away from me, and you're gonna stay out of my fucking commissary. Because like, there's a lot of people in the world that can kick my ass. This guy's not fucking one of them. And he says to me, "You're not gonna kick my ass. I guarantee it." And I said, "Oh yeah? Well, why do you think that is?" He goes, "Because I have Hep C, and I'll spray my fucking blood all over you." Oh, my butthole perking up real quick. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, damn, I don't fucking want Hep C at all. Now I'm scared. For a minute, I was feeling good because I'm like, I'm about to fucking beat this guy's ass. Like I've got so much pent up anger and aggression at this point, and I've been going through so much crap. The ups and the downs and the not sleeping good and coming off my own fucking, benzos and being scared. And like, then there's this guy trying to check me, and that's just like, this is not how this is going to go down. And then he kind of punked me, honestly, because when he hit me with the fucking I have Hep C shit, I was scared to death. Like, I don't want that. And so I just kind of shut the fuck up. And when the cells popped after that, I started talking to some of the guys in the fucking unit, and I was like, dude, this guy's threatening to fucking throw Hep C blood on me. And he's, what? And they're like, dude, you need to tell the cop. I was like, no, fuck that. I'm not getting a fucking snitch jacket in here. I'm not fucking telling the cops. And they're like, yeah, dude, this is fucking crazy. Like, I don't want this motherfucker in here either. So one thing leads to another. I don't know who fucking says something. Somebody says something to the fucking cops. And all of a sudden, we're in the unit, and it's like, you hear the beep, and they come on the microphone, and they're like, whatever this guy's name is, roll it up. And so they told him to get his shit and roll it up, and they took his ass back to the fucking medical wing, I guess. I don't know what happened to him. I didn't snitch off his plan of escape, honestly, because I didn't want to see the guy go to the hole. I really had developed such a hatred for the dude that I just hoped he tried to escape and got his ass beat. So, it's just like, oh my God, dude. Like, in case you're not fucking, like, it was every time. I got one celly with MRSA. Now I got this guy withdrawing off opiates, threatening to infect me with Hep C. It's like, what could possibly happen next? Thankfully, as far as cellmates goes, that was the last real exciting fucking cellmate story I have to tell with the 7 months that I was locked in. At that point, I was starting to make the rounds, and you know, you've been in there for a couple weeks, you're getting to know people, and you know, I'm just kind of keeping my fucking head down, and I don't even remember who the next person was that I was celled up with, but eventually I got into a unit. You know, I'd been there long enough where I could kind of pick, you know, so like when somebody transferred out of a cell, like they would let you pick, because obviously they want everybody getting along. And so they'll kind of let you pick once you've been there for a while, and they figure out that you're not getting out anytime soon. And so I got into a situation with this cool dude where we were playing cards, and so, you know, county life proceeds. In the meantime, however, it's a long time waiting for, you know, for any movement on the case. So there's a bunch of these smaller little hearings that are not really saying anything. You know, I've already got the formal charges. I know I'm still facing a shit ton of time. And so there's basically like this little break period. And, you know, I'm just reading books and playing cards and trying to keep my head positive. You know, I'm meeting new people who are coming and going from court. And I made friends with this one guy, and it's just a sad thing, man, because you start connecting with these people and you start like seeing them as human beings, and, you know, you start hearing their stories. And, you know, a lot of these guys were abandoned, like, you know, like my son. They're like my son, like mom's not doing anything, you know, they just have problems, you know, there's all kinds of problems. A lot of them are on drugs, a lot of them run in the streets, a lot of them come from low income families. This one dude's mom was kind of like a fucking pro, you know, and guys coming in and out, and so he's kind of running the streets and getting in trouble, and we become friends, and he went to court and he got 80 fucking months. And it was like, God damn, man. And so you see like people's lives kind of ending. Like, it's not ending, but like you see people, this is like a young guy. He's like 22, and he just caught an 80-month sentence, and it's just, it fucks you up, dude. You know, you meet people, you develop a relationship with them, and then you see these things happen to them, and you know, you just see it from the other side, I guess. It's like, you know, we all, like, now that I'm a free man and I'm not out here running around committing a bunch of crimes in general, you know, it's kind of like, fuck these people on the inside. They're all pieces of shit. They're all criminals. But, man, at the same time, they're human beings. Some of them are low-down, dirty motherfuckers. Don't get it twisted. Like, there's a lot of people who go in and out of county facilities who are just absolute career criminal pieces of shit. But there's a lot of people, man, that are just victims of circumstance. I mean, it's like, they're just me, they're you, it's any of us could be one fucking night, one bad fight with your girl away from being in the same situation, or just one stupid little move away from suddenly facing a lot of time. And so not everyone in there is just like the stereotypical career criminal that we all, I think, to some degree hate. And so it's about this time that I just kind of, I have a bad feeling, you know, about something. I can't, like, every time I talk to my dad, he doesn't really have any information about my wife, and I can't figure out, like, why am I still here? She's moved back with him. why has she not already dropped the charges? You know, like why am I still sitting in county? And so it's about this time that I get a phone, you know, I make, like my dad had like tried to cut it down. Like you could call me like twice a month or twice a week. So I called him on like Thursdays and Sundays or something. I don't remember what it was. And trying to keep the calls to a minimum because they're so expensive, and try to keep the calls to only important things that are going on. Like, you know, your celly just threatened to infect you with Hep C. And so we're on this call one day and he goes, look, I don't know how to tell you this, but Amanda left. And I'm like, she left? And he said, yeah, she's no longer living here. And I'm like, well, where'd she go? And he said, well, she told me she was going to stay with her dad in Oklahoma, but I really don't believe her. And I said, I told you. I fucking told. My dad had been like really on her side defending her. And I had been saying all along, something's not right. This is not adding up. There's no reason I would still be sitting here if she wasn't playing ball. There's no reason that she would have gone down there and had my bail. You know, like, I did not trust her from the gate because of the exorbitant lies that she told in the first place to get me there. This is not a person who's just a little pissed off. This is a person who has a fucking axe to grind. And I think the axe that she was grinding was she knew that our marriage was over anyway. She knew that, you know, I made the mistake of admitting to her the night of our fight that I had been planning on divorcing her. And so she knew that our relationship was over, and she was not about to go through a custody battle with me. She wanted to see me punished for whatever she felt like were the slights that I had done her. And so lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, I don't remember exactly the time, I had a meeting with my attorney, and he said that he had found out that Amanda was back in Seattle and fully cooperating with the police and was prepared to testify in court. And so that was just like, you know, I knew I had been stressed and worried and anxious that there wasn't a light at the end of the tunnel. And you have that dumb hope inside of you that you just keep telling yourself, like, there's no way this can really be happening to me. There's no way this can really be happening to me. Like, this is going to get sorted out. You know, like, I can't, I'm not really going to prison for 20 years. Like this can't be what my life, this can't be real. And when my attorney told me that she was back, it was just like the sound went out of the room. You know, like when you have that situation where everything just kind of goes whoa, and like the panic rushes over you, and it's like you can feel this painful tingling all over your body. And I said, well, you know, where? She's back here, how? And he said, she's staying with one of your neighbors. And so, to make a long story short, the night of my arrest, when she called 911, she was standing out in the front of the house with these neighbors that we knew that lived immediately adjacent. And there was another guy who lived a couple of doors down who was like 20 years older than her. And he had come out because of all the commotion. And that night they met and started talking. And I didn't find this out until well down the road. But in the week or so that it took my dad to get notified of everything and to get a plan of action together to get all of her belongings back to Dallas, this guy had started coming over to my apartment and bringing her roses and hitting on her and trying to seduce her into staying and moving in with him. He was just like this total weasel of a man. And he saw an opportunity to play Captain Save-A-Ho with this girl who, I mean, at the time, she was like 21, I think, 22. I can't even remember how old she was. She was born in 86. This is 2007, so you do the math for me. And so he had started pursuing her before she ever left the state of Washington, and while she was staying at my dad's house, that he had continued communication with her via text and cell phone. And the way that I know that this is true is that when I found out that there was another guy involved, I thought that maybe this was my ticket to freedom. So we hired a private investigator to try to prove that she'd actually been having an affair. Because if she had been having an affair, then she would have motive to lie. And this is the first and only time in my life where I was literally praying to God that my wife had been cheating on me. It's like that's got to be like the biggest fear for most men in the world, is that you've got this beautiful young bride and some guy, 20 years, some old man, like this guy's, he was 22 years older than her, is gonna steal your wife. The thought that she could have been sleeping with him while we were still married and living together. I mean, this is like, I think, every man's worst fear in life. But when you're facing 20 years in prison, you're like, please, God, tell me she's a whore. Please tell me that this is happening, because then we have game. Unfortunately, through every effort that we made to prove that, and I'm talking about getting access to cell phone records, a lot of shit this private detective was able to uncover at, of course, a lot of cost, there was zero evidence that they could find that she had ever had communication with this guy until the night of my arrest. It was just a moment of opportunity for him, and he fucking leapt on it. And she obviously hated me. She knew if I got out, I was going to divorce her. She knew that there was no future for her in Dallas except for a protracted custody battle where she was going to look really badly for having lied in the state of Washington. And so she just moved back in with this guy and just used him basically to try and prosecute me. So next thing you know, I'm sitting in county one day and I get called up to the desk and I've got mail, and I open this mail. It's divorce papers and divorce papers, including a custody battle where she's seeking full custody of my son, asking that my rights be terminated because of my history of domestic violence. There was no history of domestic violence. I had just been accused of it. And so now, on top of everything else, while I'm trapped inside of this facility and I have no access to the internet and I have no access to reasonable phone calls, every phone call is collect call. I'm basically cut off from the outside world. Not only is my wife trying to send me to prison for 20 years and basically take my life away from me, she's now sleeping with another man, and she's living with him with my son, and she's divorcing me, and she's trying to make sure that I can never see my son again. God, there's no way to quantify what this feels like. There's no way to express just the flood of thoughts and emotions and fears and worries. And so every single night you're laying in this prison cell and you're trying to sleep, and your brain is just running through the fact that you're never coming home. You're never going to see your son again. Your wife is with another man. I used to have dreams at night inside that cell, and I would, in the dream, I would see her sleeping with another man, and then I would wake up, or I would have dreams that we were back home together, and everything had gone away and everything was good again. And so in the dream, I would be so happy because I would have my wife and my son back again. And then you wake up and it's cinder block walls and a prison cell, and you're still in hell. It was the most horrific fucking roller coaster I have ever been on, and it's like I'm on the verge of vomiting, honestly, right now just talking about it. So this camera's gonna cut me off in a minute anyway. I think I'm gonna take a break and then come back and shoot a little bit more video. Okay, sorry about that little break there. It was a little bit more emotion than I could handle at the moment. So the purpose of this video is to talk to you about the actual trial experience, and so I think I've beat this horse enough. So let me quickly get you to the events that led immediately to trial. So after I found out that my wife was back in the state of Washington, living with someone 2 doors down, and was cooperating with the police fully, the last stage of the county process began, which was, at least for my attorney's sake, trying to negotiate a plea bargain on my case. So the prosecution basically they had it out for me. They had a witness that they thought was very credible. They had a 911 call. They had pictures from the event, and they also had a journal, interestingly enough, that I had written in and that I had actually ciphered. So the inside of this journal, there was all kinds of things. There were pictures, there were things that I had, there was lyrics to songs that I liked, and then there was a lot of text that was encoded in what's called a visionaire cipher. The text on the outside of the journal was also coded in visionaire cipher. I had written this journal for reasons that I won't really probably go into at this point, or possibly ever, but it is worth disclosing to you that I had written it in it years prior to my arrest, and I had told my wife that if I was ever to get arrested for a crime, to give this journal to the police, and it would get me off of my charges. Again, there are so many reasons for why I created that journal, and the faithfulness of that thing is going to come out to play in the actual court case. But so they had my journal, they had all of the witness testimony. There was no witness testimony, eyewitness testimony, but there was the neighbors that she talked to, the 911 tape, photos of her face and neck, and the general, debris that was in our apartment. And so they felt apparently like they had an open and shut case. And so the prosecutor was really not willing to offer anything. So what he said is, basically, you can plead guilty. He offered me a deal for 7 years. He offered to drop one of the assault 2 charges, and I could plead to assault 2 with a deadly weapon, assault 2 strangulation, unlawful imprisonment with a deadly weapon, and harassment with a deadly weapon. So just so that you understand, both of the assault 2 charges are what's called strikeable offenses. This is not true in all states, but in some states they have what's called a 3 strikes and you're out rule. And so if you get convicted of 3 strikeable offenses, you can automatically be sentenced to life. Now, you cannot be struck out in one case. So if I had pled guilty to 4 strikes, I would not be struck out until I caught another one in an unrelated case. So they were asking me to plead guilty to crimes, to crimes that I did not commit. But they were also asking me to plead guilty to 2 strikeable offenses, which literally meant if I had taken the deal and gone to prison for 7 years, I would not have seen my son for 7 years at a minimum. And then if and when I got out, if I had survived that experience, I would be in a situation where literally I could go to a bar one night, get in a fight, punch somebody in the face, have that person fall over, bust his head open on the concrete, catch an assault 2 charge, and go to prison for life. I mean, any further trouble that I got in could potentially send me to prison for the rest of my life. This is all that they were willing to offer. I counter-offered. My attorney did not want to even take this offer to prosecutor. I offered to plead guilty to what I had done, which was I offered to plead guilty to unlawfully imprisoning her in the house, to trying to stop her from leaving, and I offered to plead guilty to assaulting her because I did hit her on the top of her head. So we offered we counter-offered 2 years to his 7-year charge. And he came back and said, you can plead guilty to 7 years, or I will add the assault 2 charge back onto your case, and I will take you to trial and convict you and send you to prison for 12 years. Those are your options. So, wow. Basically, every single person that I came into contact with, I talked to every member of my family. My attorney, who is a very, 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 very good attorney by the name of Leonard Nahiski. He's in Bellevue, Washington. He saved my life. Leonard, if you happen to be watching this video, there are no words that can express what you gave me back. So, he was my attorney at the time, and he strongly suggested that I take the deal for 7 years. He said that he felt like it did not really matter, that the truth ultimately didn't matter. He said that they've got the 911 call, they've got the torn up apartment, they've got scratches on her neck, they've got a bruise on her head, they've got a gun that was in the apartment, and they've got a witness, they've got her, and she's going to testify against you. She's going to cry, she's going to bat those big brown doe eyes at the jury. And he said, I am terrified that no matter what you do, they are going to believe her and they are going to send you to prison for 12 years. And so over the course of the following couple of weeks, my dad and my mom and my attorney and everyone wore me down. And so I told him that I was going to take the deal for 7 years. So basically, I spent that summer in county. I watched the Olympics, and I eventually became what was called one of the mod workers. I'd been there for so long that I ended up being one of the guys that did the cleaning and served all the meals, and did help with the laundry. Basically, if you're a mod worker, you get to spend more time out of your cell. You get more food. There's just a lot of privileges that you get. Because you're basically working for the jail, and so it's better than just sitting in a cell all day long. And so one of the privileges that we got was we got movie night. On Saturday night, the 4 mod workers were allowed to watch a movie while everybody else was locked in their cells. And one night, very, very, very close to the time that I was supposed to take the deal, we watched this movie it was called August Rush. And it was about a boy, this little kid, that was separated from his family when he was young. I honestly don't remember all the details of the movie. I just know that this little boy was separated from his family somewhere in New York when he was young, and he didn't meet them in life again until he was 12. And it was the age that my son was going to be when I got out of prison. And I was sitting there watching the movie, and crying is not really something you do in jail or county. You never want to show weakness. And I started getting choked up. And one of the cops that had kind of become my friend, he really felt for me and was always kind of rooting for me and looking out for me. And he noticed that I was getting upset, and he called me over and he goes, hey man, why don't you go chill in the cell? Because he didn't want the other guys to see me like that. And I was not a religious person then. I'm not a religious person now. I went into that cell and I hit my fucking knees. And I did not pray, okay? I just screamed out in my head with something. It felt like I was just crying out to something, help me to know what to do. What do I do? And it was just this, I can't express it. It was just this, it just felt like my soul was crying out to the universe or to the ether or to God or to whatever. And I didn't hear a voice. When I was crying out, asking what to do, it was just like in my head, I just kept thinking or hearing, don't take the deal, don't take the deal, don't take the deal. And suddenly this peace just washed over me. Like I did not want to take this deal. I was only taking it because they had convinced me to do it. And sitting in that room, I just knew that it was just a knowing. It was just like I knew with every fiber of my being that I could not take that deal. That I was gonna fight. If these people are gonna send me to fucking prison for 7 years, I am not gonna fucking roll over and just hand it to you. If you want to convict me of these crimes, then you're going to convict me. You're going to take me to trial, and you are going to prove to a jury of my peers, beyond a reasonable doubt, that I am guilty of these charges. I will not roll over and just give it to you. If you're gonna have to take my life away from me. I will fucking not give it to you. And the second that I decided that, the second that I just knew inside that I was gonna fight, that I was not gonna take the deal, I didn't give a shit anymore. It wasn't about the 7 years or the 12 years. It wasn't about winning or losing. It was about I am going to fight for what I believe because I believe that I can win. I know that I can beat these people who are bringing these charges against me. I believe, I don't give a shit what my attorney says, what my dad says, what anybody says. None of those people are going to spend 7 years in here with me. I am going to fucking fight and I'm going to make them beat me. And like I said, from that moment on, just a calm washed over me. And the next day, I went back out of my cell, and the next day, I called my dad on the phone, and I said, I'm not taking the deal. I'm not doing it. And he said, are you sure? And I said, Dad, I know this is going to cost you a lot more money. I know, okay? But I can't take this deal. I'm not asking you to pay for this. I will take this fucking case to trial by myself and I will win. And he said, no, you won't. I'm going to pay Leonard. We're going to fight. And so I got a call. Leonard came to see me that day. And he said, you know, are you sure? You know what you're doing? And I said, yes. This is my decision. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make them prove it. And he did not want to take this case, man. Like, Leonard's a fucking great guy. I mean, I could not say enough about this guy, and you're going to hear a lot more about him in the video to come. What attorney wants to lose, man, right? Nobody wants to lose. And he thought he had a loser on his hands, and he thought it was in his best. In fact, he sent an email to my dad saying, you know, when he was trying to convince me to take the deal, he had sent him this email that said, I'm not saying this as your son's attorney. I'm saying this as one father to another father. Please ask your son to take this deal. I'm afraid he's going to go to prison for 12 years. This guy pulled out all the stops to get me to take this deal. But he's my attorney. And so I told him, I'm not taking the deal. And I guess that's actually when the delay came. So when we decided to not take the deal, they had to then depose the witness. And that's the step where everything hinges on. Because up until now, everything that the prosecution has against me is purely the statements that she made the night of my arrest. So she filled out a police report where she detailed all of the things that happened. And when she wrote her report the first time, she wrote this like tiny little blurb that said he pointed a handgun at me. And then you can kind of tell from looking at the documentation that the cops were like, okay, well, can you give us like a little bit more? Because then she goes back and then she reiterates it in the report and she adds more detail. So there's one paragraph that says he hit me and pointed a gun at me. And then there's another paragraph where she says it again. You know, he hit me, he pointed a gun at me, he choked me, he tried to strangle me, he threatened to kill me, and she adds all of this other detail. And it's in all of this detail where she expressed all of these things that I knew were lies, and I knew there was no way they were going to prove it. So what I wanted to do was to have her deposed so that we could see what her story was 7 months later, because that's the story she's going to have to testify to. But they've got this little catch in the system where they wouldn't depose the witness until after I had decided whether or not I was going to take the deal. So in order for me to find out what I was really up against, I had to fucking drop my balls first. I had to go, fuck you. I will take 12 years to the box because I'm not going to plead guilty to these charges. And until I had the nerve to do that, they didn't have to depose the witness. So once I said I want to go to trial, then the deposition was set up. And that was the final piece that I'll talk about before we get to jury trial, because this sets the stage for everything. So they had to bring her in. And this has been, like I said, we're 6 months out from the original date of my arrest at this point. She's been living her life. She's been living with this other man. She had gotten pregnant and aborted his baby during this period of time against his will. I did not know that until years later, but she'd been living life. She'd still been up to doing her dirt, and she hadn't been thinking about this night every single second of every single day like I had been. And so when she sat down and they deposed her in detail about everything that happened that night, all of a sudden a lot of the details started to change, and a lot of the intricacies and the subtleties of the accusations that she was making against me were now laid out in this very in-depth format. And so basically that deposition tells me this is exactly the case that they have to bring against me. And these are the accusations that I have to disprove. And so they had the deposition, and once she was deposed, they printed it out and they bring this document to me. I still have it. It's like this thick. It's got to be 50, 60 pages. I start reading through the deposition and I am overjoyed. It was the only time in the 7 months that I was in county that I almost got sent to the hole. I was running around the jail cell. I was acting like a lunatic, laughing, riling people up. And finally they're like, Van Dusen, if you don't sit down somewhere, your ass is going to the hole. The bullshit that she said in this deposition was so far from anything that could possibly be called a reality. I now knew I have a fucking horse in this game. I'm going to take this story and I'm going to pick this shit apart, and I'm going to show these people exactly who this lying little fucking person is. And so I got a call from my attorney, and he sounded like he was getting ready to hang himself. He was like, oh my God, we're screwed. And I'm like, what? And he said, man, like, we deposed her. She cried at the right times. She seemed like a very credible witness. He was like, I'm telling you, I think we are fucked. And I said, Leonard, there is a 0% chance she can sell this story on the stand, because I promise you there's no way it could have possibly happened the way she's saying it happened. And he's like, well, I'm glad that you're feeling so good. I mean, he can hear the elation in my voice. He's like, I'm glad you're feeling so fucking good, because I think we're fucked. And I'm like, Leonard, I got this shit. And so he goes downtown, he files all the paperwork, he sets a trial date, and it was like 2 months, I think, from the time that I rejected the plea before I was actually going to be able to go to trial. For that 2 month period, I basically laid it down in the cell. I was playing cards, I was watching TV, I was hanging out with the guys that I'd made friends with, and the whole time I am doing absolutely nothing but preparing my case. I'm reading every single detail of her deposition. I'm making notes in the margins. I'm underlining things that were said. I'm connecting the lie that she told on page 65 to the lie that she told on page 21. I've got arrows to everything. Like, I have broken this deposition down like a teacher just picks apart your fucking thesis statement. Like, I have marked this document up every single way you can, and every single night I've got this guy as a cellie. His name was Robert, and he was like my boy. Like, this guy had my back in every conceivable way, and he used to just role play with me every single night in the house. And I would practice talking to him like he was the jury. I would practice talking to him like he was the prosecuting attorney. I would have him ask me questions. And this dude, man, he had me every step of the way, and we would be in the house just playing fucking Law and Order and prepping my case. And so I spent 2 months practicing for the 4 days that I'm going to tell you about next. So stay tuned, because we're finally going to get to jury trial, and every single thing that happened to, you know, everything they tried to do to put me away for 12 years of my life, and exactly how I flipped the script on those motherfuckers and ended up getting less than I offered them in my deal. So, excuse me, stay tuned. As always, thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.